Hello everybody and welcome. Like Alessandro said, my name is Pauliina Kuokka. I'm a forecaster here at the Finnish Meteorological Institute. Today I'm going to discuss a little bit about what the weather situation was yesterday, and then I'm going to speculate of what's going to happen next week since Christmas is coming up. But yes, first I want to introduce myself. I'm a forecaster at FMI. I've been working as a forecaster for about 5 years now. And the past couple of years I've also done some international projects. I've been training in the South Pacific, Caribbean, and the Andes, so mainly in the tropics. So I've gotten a bit of an idea what the weather is over there, but mainly I've been concentrating on the European weather and the Scandinavian weather. But I'd also like to see who you are. So if you could mark with the star of your current occupation, if you're a forecaster, trainer, manager, researcher, or something else. Good. So it's good to see that there are quite a few forecasters here. It's always nice to talk and have some ideas with other colleagues. But yeah, let's take a look at the weather situation. This is a water vapor image from yesterday, 12 UTC, over Europe. And there's quite a lot of interesting things going on. Some frontal systems and some dry areas, moist areas. But what caught my eye was this convective region here in the Mediterranean. So you can see some convective cells here and there, some small brighter dots. And if we overlay the satellite image with 500 millibar or hectopascal height, we can see that we have an upper high in this region, then we also have an upper low over here, and two more upper lows or upper troughs in the north. But yeah, this is the upper low that caught my attention. So I don't know the local phenomena that well in the Mediterranean area since I'm not from there, but my guess is that the Mediterranean Sea is quite warm. So we have warm surface temperatures, and then since we have the upper low here, the upper atmosphere is somewhat cold, so we get the instability that is required for convection, and then we also have some moisture from the warm sea areas, and then we can see that here we have a darker area which could represent the jet. So I'm guessing that we have this frontal system here that could be one cause for the lifting. So we basically have all the ingredients for convection. If we look at the meteor alarm from yesterday, we notice that in this region there's quite a lot of warnings, mainly for high amounts of precipitation, but also for thunder caused by the convection. And here in the red area, I noticed that the precipitation amounts could be up to 60 millimeters or even more. And I did look at the observations from yesterday, and there was local observations were 40 millimeters or 45 millimeters of precipitation, so quite a lot of rain. And like I said, I don't know the local geography or local conditions that well, but I would assume that there's some sort of mountain region here that could enhance the lifting, since the wind was blowing from the southwest for quite a long time. But yeah, if that's my interpretation for the convection in that region. We can also take a look at the sounding from yesterday. We can see that from 12 UTC from Italy yesterday, there is quite a lot of instability. The Cape values here are roughly 200, 300 joules per kilogram, but we can still see that top of the convection is at 7 or 8 kilometers. some pretty decent showers in that region. However, the Mediterranean area wasn't the only place where we got convection yesterday. So could you please mark with your stars the other areas where you think we have some convection? So yeah, most of you, or some of you marked this area. Like I showed you before, it might have to do with the upper low that we have over there. In the water vapor image, especially in the winter season, the convection doesn't show it quite well here in the northern latitudes. If we look at the air mass RGB, we might see something a little bit more, some brighter tops over here. We also have some shallow convection in this area, which has to do with the cold outbreak. It's not that visible, but at least to me, this looks very familiar here in the northern latitudes with the cold outbreaks. We get this type of convection quite a lot. But yeah, the main area of interest is the Scandinavian area. We can see from the RGB image that in the northern parts here we have some purplish colors indicating colder air mass compared to the southern Europe where the colors are mainly green and the air mass is a lot warmer. We have the frontal system here that sort of divides the cold and warmer air mass. If we overlay the RGB image with the 500 millibar height, we notice that we have this upper low or upper trough over here and here as well. But this was mainly the area of interest, and even though the satellite image isn't that impressive, we don't see the convective cells as well as we do in the Mediterranean Sea. There's still a lot of stuff going on. If we overlay the image with the 500 millibar height and also the sea level pressure, we can see that there's a lot of troughs here. We have some upper troughs. We also have some surface troughs. So basically, there's a lot of things going on here, which can produce that convection. So we basically have the same type of ingredients that we have in the Mediterranean. We have the upper low, so the atmosphere in the upper atmosphere is quite cold. But then again, we have the sea areas here. The Baltic Sea is still quite warm. We haven't got any ice here yet, so the surface is quite warm. And then we have the troughs that give us the lifting. So we have seen quite a lot of showers here. So even though the satellite image isn't that impressive, we can take a look at the radar image from yesterday. We can see that there's a lot of showers here and there, especially in the Norwegian coastal area, but also here in Denmark and Sweden. And in Finland, we got quite a lot of snow showers yesterday. Most of the showers here in the southern parts of Finland were rain or sleet, but here up north it was snow. And what was also quite interesting, here in this region where we get some showers, we actually got a detection for lightning. So even though the convection isn't deep, it's quite shallow, it's still powerful enough to produce lightning. Even in the winter season. It was only just a couple strikes of lightning, but still. If we go back to the larger scale, there's also one thing that catches my eye in the satellite images. Here we have the infrared image from yesterday. And it's this frontal zone here that catches my eye. And this has been going on for a couple weeks now, that a lot of low pressures have been forming here in the Atlantic. The situation has been quite similar for a couple weeks, so that we have this. This is now the infrared image overlaid with the sea level pressure, but also the 700 temperature advection. So we can see that yesterday we had this very strong cold advection, and then also combined with the warm advection over here. So we got good ingredients for strong low pressures, and most of the low pressures have been moving in this direction roughly, so that the low pressures form in the Atlantic, and then they move over Scandinavia, and we've had quite a lot of rain and cloudy and windy days, and a few low pressures that were storms as well. So a lot of cyclogenesis have been going on in the Atlantic. And why I'm talking about this is that we're quite interested in what's going to happen next week. The roots of the low pressures define the winter weather, or the Christmas weather mainly, and we're very interested in here if it's going to be cold weather or if it's going to be this wet and dark weather, especially here in southern Finland, in Helsinki. So we were a little bit worried if Santa Claus is going to be making his way with his reindeer and his sleigh, or if he has to take the helicopter. This is the situation from yesterday. This is the forecast from ECMWF. The colors here are indicating the 500 millibar height. So we can see that we have the upper high in this region and a trough ridge over here, and some warmer air, and we have the pool of cold air here in the northern parts. And then here in between we got the jet, which is now diving all the way to the south and then coming back to the north. We can see the upper low here in the Mediterranean as well. So this is now what we're mainly interested in, if the jet is still going to be in the same regions as it is now, or if it's going to shift its place a little bit. And this is the situation for Christmas Eve. So next week it looks like that, at least according to ECMWF, the jet might be moving a little bit more to the south, and the cold air mass here could be taking its place a little bit more to the south. We still have the warm air here in the southern Europe. And for Christmas Day, it looks like the jet might be moving a little bit more to the south, which means that even more cold air would be coming from the north. For Christmas Eve, the wind direction could mainly be from the west or southwest still, but it looks like for Christmas Day it could be from the north, so we could have some clear skies and cold weather here in Finland. The air mass looks quite cold here, but still so warm air here in the south, and the jet is somewhere in between. But there's still quite a lot of uncertainties for the forecast. This EPSgram, the ensemble forecast, is for Helsinki, which is at the south coast of Finland, and this is for the northern parts in Lapland, Sodankylä. So we can see that for the temperature, there is a clear indication that there is some cold air coming from the north, but you can see that for the ensemble forecast there's a lot of options still left. So even though we can see a trend of colder air, it's totally depending on how the low pressures take their route, and if we for Christmas get a little bit snow, or if it's just clear skies and cold weather. But we're still keeping our options open, but mainly it looks like that here in the north, in the Scandinavia, the Santa might be taking up his snowboard, and in Central Europe he might need an umbrella, and when he gets down to the Mediterranean he can relax by the beach. So this is my forecast for next week. I wish you a Merry Christmas to everybody.